Are you ready? The Cornelia Stephanie Show. Wake up to love, your call to action. Join Cornelia as she empowers others to live heaven on earth. Cornelia teaches listeners how to be the authority over yourself, embracing your inner guru. Feel yourself uplifted into limitless expansion, integrating ease and grace in a changing world. This show will cover topics such as unconditional love, your physical body, how to be in extraordinary relationships, create financial and emotional wealth, embracing entrepreneurship in the new earth. Welcome back to the Cornelia Stephanie Show. I'm so excited right now because I'm going to introduce you to Holly Dudash, and she's one of you're going to hear a lot about this lady in the upcoming time. So you might as well listen now and take notes of the wonderful inspiration that she has to share with us, because she's a courageous one. I want to first tell you a little bit about her. She's part of our tribe. She's part of our KS Media group. She's being featured in the app, and she's an upcoming author that you're going to hear so much about. She's also a lifelong learner, a truth seeker, an inspiring author, and a student of spirituality who experienced an incredible transformation during her spiritual awakening from being a devoted evangelical Christian to becoming a metaphysical Christian mystic. Holly follows her own divine path as a rising spiritual practitioner, and she's graduating in 2022 from New Thought Global. With her passion and education as a gifted storyteller and teacher, she is compassionately and helps Christians make the leap of faith to the spiritual path. I love that so much. Holly looks forward to working with you to create sacred rituals to make spiritual practices meaningful, life-changing, and rewarding. Holly specializes in spirituality for religious believers, eco-spirituality, spiritual wellness, Christ consciousness, soul ascension, universal laws. I'll add this word in, woo-woo, and New Thought spiritual teachings to co-create the fifth dimensional new earth and beyond with you. Welcome to the show today, Holly Dudash.
Thank you, Cornelia. It's my honor and my pleasure to be here. I'm so excited.
This is your debut. So really receive that and take that in. You're in the process right now of graduating from Thought Global, and also you are completing and writing your book, and you're working with people, Christians, to help them make the leap of faith and come over to the place where there's no ceiling, where you're basically inviting them to find, what is the title of your book?
Yes, so right now the working title is Finding Your Real Jesus. How to Win Your Ascension, Playing the Game of Life, Jesus Edition.
Excellent. And so tell us a little bit about, about the story of your life, and then how you made the transition and what got you started on this path.
Yeah, so this has been a very long journey. I just didn't realize it until recently. I was born and raised in a mixed household, meaning that my mother was Roman Catholic, but my father was atheist. And as the patriarch of our family, I did not grow up in a traditional Catholic home, although my grandparents practiced that. So I had a very slight introduction to Roman Catholicism by going to church with my relatives on Christmas and on Easter. And that was a nice introduction. But as I got older, then I really needed to try and find my path. So I found some various religions that I was interested in studying, but nothing really fully appealed to me. And so for my adult life, I became what's really called a nun, not in the religious sense, but as someone who doesn't practice any particular religion. I have no religion. And I identified myself as being spiritual because I felt that there was something beyond this life, but I just couldn't put my nose or my finger on it. And so I was very excited to really discover this concept of spirituality. And what had happened was back in 2016, the Holy Spirit really moved within me, and I didn't even know it, but I continued to get a message. And this message was clear. It said, "You need to go to church." And this message happened every single day for 6 months. And I said, no, I'm not going to go to church. Why would I do that? That's not something that's for me. But then finally, I relented and I just let spirit flow. And I said, I will surrender. I will go to church. And here I was introduced to an incredible non-denominational evangelical Christian church. It was a very healthy church. It was one that introduced me to the love of God, to the love and mercy of Jesus Christ. And I was blown away. I could not wait to discover Jesus and his friends. And lo and behold, within 6 months, I was baptized. 6 months later, I had actually read the whole entire Bible, which usually takes a year or longer. And I was unstoppable. I was on fire for Jesus. He was my Lord, my Savior, my Savioriah, as I call him. And everybody was being drawn to my light. I embodied more and more and more light, and it was an awesome transformation. And I thought that there was nothing that would have knocked me off of this pedestal of being an evangelical Christian until something happened. You know how
Wow.
the universe works, and it works big. And so finally, just a few short years after, by 2017, 2018, I started learning that I was processing the events of Holy Week and Easter each year as a trauma, a very deep, deep trauma that I felt within my soul. And it was incredible. And it was to the point where I needed to discover what is causing this trauma. I really love Jesus. I'm so upset about what happened to him, but why did this thing happen to him? And why is it affecting me over 2,000 years later? And so that's when I entered the world of spirituality, because I needed to connect with my spirit guides, with the angelic realm, and I needed to learn what happened 2,000 years ago to my soul that would have caused this trauma that I'm now experiencing in this era. And here, lo and behold, I started having an awakening that was finally confirmed by a messenger speaking on behalf of my guides, who had told me that, yes, indeed, I was there. I witnessed the crucifixion and resurrection of the Christ, of Jesus on the cross. And wow, that explained a lot. We ended up going into the Akashic records. I ended up finding out that I was a split soul, and all of this information is detailed in our book. And so I'm very excited to reveal who I was in Jesus's life, because I was there from birth through death. And now I work with him today as an ascended master. And I'm very excited to be able to just tell my story and to share my story with other Christians who may be going through a spiritual awakening. And you don't have to be Christian. You cannot have any religion. You can practice a different religion, because we know that Buddha, that the Muhammad, that they also are ascended masters. And they are here as spiritual teachers, as spiritual guides to help us follow the spiritual path. And this is an incredible journey. And that's where I am today, where I was an evangelical Christian. And then I discovered this new Jesus, this ascended master Jesus. And one of the most important things I learned at my church, which was an incredibly healthy church, was with a rock star pastor in New England, that you don't follow the church. You don't follow the Bible. You follow Jesus. And now that I know that Jesus is an ascended master, and he is teaching us today, and he is teaching us the truth, the true meaning of the messages that he taught over 2,000 years ago to the disciples, to the people he interacted with, who were on a totally different level of consciousness at that time compared to where humanity is today, that we need to help them learn these lessons, because there is a goal in mind. There is a goal for every single one of us for your soul, and that goal is ascension. You want to ascend, and that means essentially that you do the spiritual work to learn all of the steps you need to follow on the spiritual path, not the religious path of traditional Christianity in particular, but the spiritual path. And you want to do this because we currently live in the third dimensional earth plane, but we now have access to the astral plane, which is the fourth dimension, and eventually you will go ahead and go to the new earth in the fifth dimension. That is how you ascend, by graduating from the third dimensional earth school.
Yes, and everything. There's so many things that you said, and you know that the Stories of Hope is just a short introduction. So
Yes.
I definitely want to do another podcast with you, Holly. We'll do it within our group, the Cornelia Stephanie Media Group, and we'll talk more about, like the thoughts that come to me right now is like I want to talk about, the trauma that you were experiencing in your physical body, the emotional cell memory that you remember from those lifetimes, and that you are now sitting with, and that you were feeling during, like you said, during Easter and at other times. And so I definitely want to talk to you more about that for, this short time period. I love everything that you shared because you said a lot. But is there a place that people can connect with you right now, that if they have any further questions, or what is it that you want to leave people with today?
Yes, absolutely. I want to inspire them to know that there is hope out there. If you are questioning about your traditional religious upbringing and your beliefs and wanting to explore those and perhaps discover that maybe there's something more. Because for me, I was an evangelical Christian, but yet at the same time, I was going to the quantum realms. I needed quantum. I was asking my pastors to explain to me, whether by praying, if we could actually create scalar waves. And so I was on the quantum level. And so I want people who are interested in that to connect with me. You can connect with me on my site at LinkedIn, on Facebook, or at my email, which I imagine will be in the show notes.
Yes, and thank you. And let's just tell people on LinkedIn where they can go. What's the address?
It's www.linkedin.com/IN/Holly Dudash.
There you go. And you're going to also be able to see Holly's information in the KS Media Group app. We're still getting all of her information dialed in there. So, but you're going to be seeing a lot more of her. Thank you so much, Holly, for coming on today and for inspiring us with your incredible story. I know you're going to be helping so many people, because you're not the only one that is having this experience, had this experience. So it's beautiful that you are now in this space to inspire other people to, like you said, find the real Jesus, find their Jesus, right? So
Exactly.
everyone, thank you so much for listening and tuning in today. Stay tuned for the Jenny C. Cohen Show, Dance to Heal, coming up next. We'll see you again next time. Sending so much love. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
You've been listening to the Cornelia Stephanie Show, Wake Up to Love, your call to action. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio. Cornelia's joy is to engage others in practical ways, showing us how to live in the new earth in harmony with our true nature. For more information on Cornelia and her extraordinary work, or to listen to past shows, go to her website at corneliastephanie.com.